So let's talk about product launches in particular. And so in this workshop, what we want to do is we want to work through the technical aspects of your product launch, and we want to also assume that you've already figured out your product's components. So in other words, this workshop is not going to be about figuring out what you want to put in your product. Just about everybody here, you're probably going to either put together something that's a video course. Maybe you might have an audio course, maybe you're going to have some PDFs, maybe you're going to have some images, but basically I'm going to assume that you want to deliver some kind of information product, right, that you've already figured out what that is, you've already figured out what your niche is, you already figured out what you want to sell, who you want to sell it to. What we want to do is help you to get it ready to sell. We're also going to assume that you already know what you'll be writing as your copy. Right, so we've taught that in some other workshops. If you want to, if you want to get insight on how to write your copy, the easy way, reach out to us. We'll give you access to one of our past trainings on writing copy. And again, writing copy does not have to be, I would say, complicated. There are some elements that you need to have. There's a formula that we personally follow that we have been following for, I think, about 6 years, and we're not necessarily, I wouldn't call us experts at writing copy, but if you follow the formula, right, when you can find that same formula, and those of you who have been on my calls before, you know that I suggest that you look at David Fry's 12-point bulletproof sales letter, right? So if you follow that formula, right, David Fry's 12-point bulletproof formula, and as a matter of fact, I am just going to do a search for it right here on screen. And just so that you can see it, I'm just going to write in David Fry's 12-point, there it is, foolproof sales letter. And there are a number of links to it. You can actually get a PDF that's right here. And you're going to see, if you start with step 1 and you go through step 2, all the way through step 12, you will have a complete sales letter. And even if you are not necessarily all that good at writing copy, if you follow these things and you inject your product and what makes your product unique into this format, you will be able to get people to pay attention. Right? Does that make sense? Is everybody with me on that? So again, I'm not going to talk a lot about writing copy. I am going to suggest that if you want to get a start on writing copy, you can write a decent sales letter, or you can do a decent sales video if you just follow David Fry's 12-point bulletproof sales letter. All right, so okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set up your product launch, your upsells, and your email marketing. So let's talk about the order of operations and the order that you need to do things. The first thing you're going to want to do is to map out and set up your sales and marketing funnel. And so let's talk about what that means. I'm going to open up Warrior Plus here. Okay, so how many of you have set up a sales funnel on Warrior Plus before? Right? If you haven't, this is actually going to be good, and it's going to be instructive for you. Now you've probably seen a number of people set up a funnel on JVZoo. So what we're going to do is we're going to set one up on Warrior Plus. All right, so here's Warrior Plus. And the very first thing we're going to do is we are going to set up an offer, right? And so the offer is not going to be any specific product. Your offer is just going to kind of give you your statistics all in one place. So when you set up your marketing funnel, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to see all the products in the funnel underneath one title. And your title is going to be your offer. So if you get that, please put the number 1 in the question box. So in other words, all your products in one funnel are going to be under this offer. So we're going to set up an offer first. So let's say that the offer that we're going to set up is going to be teaching, we're going to call this the product launch workshop. Okay, then Warrior Plus asks you for a description. Now this description is going to show up to the other marketers who are considering promoting your product, right? And it's also going to show up when you actually are trying to recruit affiliates. So you want to have something brief, and you want to have something that it doesn't have to be hypey, but it should get people excited, right? So you want to say something like, you know, let's say it's going to be a big video course, you want to emphasize that. You're going to say 45 module, 3.5 hour course. And then you want to talk about the benefit, getting you into profit mode through your own product launch. Right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to need to select a category. And in Warrior Plus, they give you a limited number of categories. And here's why the categories are important, because when people get marketplace alerts, they get them based on these categories and the keywords. So you want to make sure you get these things so that they attract the people that you actually want to see it, right? So if you want people who are going to be interested in, let's say, searching for maybe not video, right? So we don't want necessarily video. We want people, let's say, who are going to be interested in, we'll say we want people who are going to be interested in coaching. We want people who are going to be interested in, let's say we want them to be interested in traffic. And let's say we also want to be interested in, and you get 3 to pick, we want people who are interested in, let's say, launches, launch management, JVs and launch management. Okay, so then what we need to do is we need to pick keywords, right? So we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to get more specific here. And I'm going to write in product launch. Okay, so when we see that, what we need to do is we need to kind of click on the link there. This is going to be a workshop, so we want people who might be interested in product creation. Okay, and then we want people who are going to be interested in, let's say we're going to do this about Warrior Plus. Launching on Warrior Plus. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and get an offer image. This can be the same image that you're going to be using for your sales page. That's typically what I do. This is going to show up for your affiliates. So you want to get an image typically that you have either had professionally made, that's something that you have outsourced, or something that you made up specifically for this offer. So I'm just going to go and get a product image that I have from another product. Okay, so let's just say I'm just going to grab the Camtasia image. Let's see if it shows up here. All right, so I'm just going to grab this image, and I'm going to grab the bundle. Right? Do I want this to be displayed in the marketplace? Typically, I am going to want to, but Warrior Plus is not going to let you do that until you actually finish setting up your product. Right? So once we do that, we're going to click Create. Okay, so now we're on step 2. So is everybody clear on what we've done so far? Okay, is everybody clear on what we've done so far? So if you're clear on what we've done so far, please put the number 1 in the question. Okay, great. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start setting up our sales page, because Warrior Plus is going to ask us for a sales page. Now, you will not have set up your sales page at this point, so all we're going to do is put a placeholder in here, and we're going to put the actual address that our sales page is going to be. right? So how many of you have your own page builder? So hopefully you have your own page builder. I'm going to go into mine in the PLR show, right? Because if I'm going to create a sales page, I'm going to do it in my own domain. So I'm going to set up a new page, and I'm going to just kind of get a sales page here. And I'm going to pick a template that I would actually use. So let's say that I would probably do a video sales letter. And I'm going to call this product launch workshop. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to publish this so that I will have an address. I'm going to grab this link. And then I'm going to put this inside of Warrior Plus. Okay, we are not doing a WSO, so we're not going to need this WSO post, right? We're not posting this on the Warrior forum. If you have a logo for your business, you're going to put that in this vendor image area, right? That's where you're going to put that. If you're going to have a pre-launch, so in other words, let's say that what you want to do is you want to have a webinar before your product launches. You want to let people come to the page, or you want to collect leads before they actually before you actually open up the product for sale. Well, this is where you would do a pre-launch, right? So you would either do a Warrior Plus hosted pre-launch or a simple redirect. I tend not to do these, right? But if you want to do one, this is where you would indicate the pre-launch. And what happens is that at the right time, right at the time of your launch, the page redirects to your sales page. Up until the launch, it goes to the landing page, or it goes to the webinar page. Okay, if you are going to have affiliates, and hopefully you will, you're going to put in the, you're going to turn this on. Is there an advantage to doing one, Chantel? Yes, there is. Let's say that you think it's typical, whether it's big ticket or even if it's a smaller ticket, that if you have a pre-launch webinar and you show people how they're going to benefit from it, then you can actually have, you're probably going to have more sales, right? You probably can have more sales. The benefit also of having a pre-launch is that, if you have affiliates, you can probably convert more of your affiliates' traffic through a webinar. The other thing is that, let's say you decide not to do a webinar. What you decide to do is you decide to have an opt-in page during pre-launch. And let's say that your affiliates are going to be sending you traffic before the actual launch. Then number one, what you get to do is collect those leads. Number two, the affiliates actually get cookied. And then you and the affiliate actually get a win-win situation, because the affiliate's going to actually get their people to a page where they're going to see what the product is about, and then you are actually going to get the lead, and you're going to get the lead regardless of whether or not they buy or not. So that's another good reason why you could, or you might want to think about doing a pre-launch. So there's some good reasons why you might do one. I have just tended not to do them, mainly because I haven't really figured out the right kind of webinar I'd like to do for a PLR product. I am going to test that this year, but I have not done that. Right, but there's a definite advantage to doing it, and the higher ticket the higher the ticket the product, the better your webinar is going to do. Okay, great question. So Chantel asks, can they purchase during pre-launch? No, they cannot purchase during pre-launch. So all they can do is see what's on your pre-launch page. So you could show them what the product is going to be about. You could do a demo. Yeah, so it's just information. So let's say that you're selling software, right? And so if you want to show people a demo in order to get them excited so that when you actually launch the product, you don't have to have them reading your copy and trying to watch a demo and then make a decision to buy. Bringing people to a demo page is a good way to sell software because they get to see that software so that when the gates or the doors actually open to the product, all they have to do is come and buy. They already come, they're already excited, they're already pre-sold. So yes, you're right, it's just information. Right, yeah, so what you're trying to do is warm them up. And you can do that for anything. I just use the software, but you could warm them up for a product. You could do a 2 or 3 minute video saying, hey, here's everything that's in it. Here's how I would use it. Here are some testimonials, that kind of stuff. I mean, it shouldn't be long, but you can actually do a good pre-launch page. It'll get people warm to the product, so when you actually launch it, or they get sent there by the affiliate, or they get sent there by you and your email, then they're going to be more likely to convert. Okay, all right, so affiliate information. This is where what you're going to do is you're going to give your affiliates some information about the product, and you're also going to tell the affiliates that'll be applying kind of what you're looking for. So one of the things I like to put in here is that I'll write, and this is just what I write in here. You're going to say something like, you know, affiliates need to have more than 100 sales. I will also put in here something like, I prefer to work with experienced vendors that sell PLR. And then I'll say, you know, if we don't know each other, please reach out to me on Facebook or Skype. And you know what? I know sometimes I might be missing out on some affiliates who could probably do a good promotion. But quite honestly, I do want to know the people who are going to be promoting my product because I don't want them misrepresenting it. I don't want them bringing people who don't understand PLR. And you might have certain affiliates that you want to promote. You might have certain affiliates you don't want to promote. And so I want them to, at minimum, reach out to me on Facebook if I don't know them because I want to see their profile. Right? That might be a little obsessive. It might be over the top. It's just what I like. I'll tell you one reason why you want to think about that is because, you know, if you have an affiliate that you don't know and you have an affiliate that's either sending fraud traffic or even if they send traffic and they totally misrepresented your product. And so then the person actually gets the product, they get to the download page and they get it. Here's what they say. They say, you know what, I thought this was going to be something else. Right? And sometimes that's because the affiliate didn't know how to promote it, but they knew how to make sales. So number one, you have control over who applies here, and you want to write this message in here because you can end up. I'll show you why. I'll show you why you want to. I'll just be for real with you, right? You can have an affiliate request list that looks like this. Right, and I don't know any of these people, right, and none of these folks have reached out to me on Facebook the way I asked them to, and I mean, yeah, I mean, granted, I could approve them, maybe they could make sales, but if I don't know them, and they didn't take the time to reach out to me, I just don't really feel like I have to have them as affiliates. Right? Does that make sense? So if you get that, please put the number 2 in the question box. Right. So again, I have nothing against anybody who's on this list. My feeling is just, at minimum, I really do want you to reach out to me. Right. And talk to me if I don't know you. Okay. Let's go back here. Okay, now your JV page URL, right? And this is another thing that you sort of do want to have, right? You do want to have your own JV page. This year I did something a little different, and I created my own JV blog, right? And so all my JV blog is it is a website that is a JV. It's jvwithcharles.net, right? And this, I mean, the name is just kind of corny, right? But it is my JV page. And so what I do with this is I make sure that this is where people can find all the information about any upcoming launch I'm going to be doing, right? And so I put all of the JV information on this site. And each individual launch, I have a different JV page. So, for example, well, I won't go and show you all those pages, but every launch is going to have a different page. Now, one thing that I do with this JV blog is this. And most of you already know who use WordPress. You know this, but I'm going to show you this anyway. So if you go into the settings and you go into reading, you can determine what your front page is going to be. So every time I start a new launch, I put that new JV page as my front page, right? So whenever my next launch is, it's going to be the front page of jvwithcharles.net. And I think, you know, someone showed me that jvwithcharles.com is available, for auction. Maybe I'll get that. But does everybody make sense? Does that make sense? So all I'm doing, I have all my JV pages. My JV blog is just a WordPress site, right? It's just a WordPress site. So and because I use OptimizePress, those of you who use InstaBuilder, you're just going to put your JV, your page builder on there, and just build a simple little JV page. Right? Yeah. Because what you're doing, Dana, is some people are not going to remember what your individual page is going to be, and they will remember your URL eventually. They may not at the beginning. They'll still come and ask you, but at the very least, you're going to make it easier for affiliates to find you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my JV page, I'm going to put that inside of there. Right? Okay, so now they're going to ask you for your affiliates update list. You do want to do this, right? You definitely do want to do this. Everybody who's going to be promoting your product, you want to be able to keep in touch with them. And so the way you do that inside of Warrior Plus is they're going to ask you to connect a certain autoresponder. Now, I keep track of all that through GetResponse. Right? So I've got certain lists. And so with this is my list for JVs. Right? So anybody that becomes part of this list, they can actually do that through anybody that requests this this offer, they automatically get added to my JV list. Does that make sense? Okay, so everybody who requests to promote this offer, they get added to my JV list, and I want them. Now again, I'm not gonna mess with these folks. I'm not gonna email them. And that's really the only reason why I keep this in, let's say, GetResponse, because I don't want to accidentally email them through Aweber, right? So that is why I do that. So again, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to save this. And the way you're going to do this is inside of your, let's go inside of Warrior Plus for a second. Inside your account settings, you are going to have this section called integrations, right? Integrations. And I might have to pull this off screen. I want to make sure I don't put anything sensitive up here. So let's see if I can just do this. Okay. So in order to connect your autoresponder so that it works automatically, you're going to have to go to your new service. Does everybody see all the autoresponders there? So you can add any of those autoresponders to Warrior Plus so that they work automatically. And whenever your JVs request your offer, they get added to the list, right? And you have to do that though through this integration page. So the reason that works is because I have GetResponse set up through my integration page, and you can actually see that here. All right, let's close this out. Okay, so no pre-launch. The affiliate program accelerator, I have not done that. I have not done that. I don't know anybody who has. I'll tell you what this does. No, let's see. That's not what we want. Okay, so this says Warrior Plus will promote your affiliate program via email, ads, etc. Okay, so they make 15% on the sales that are made by these referrals, right? So in other words, what they do is they go look for JVs for you, right? Excuse me. And if you decide and you approve those JVs, then Warrior Plus is going to take 15% of every sale. Right? Does that make sense? Okay, so this is something that maybe if you don't have a lot of affiliates to get started and you actually put one up there and then you approve, yeah, they're a little bit like an agent, right? So one of the reasons why I like Warrior Plus is that there are a few more tools available to you if you are kind of just getting started, right? JVZoo is a great network. It has great tools. The only disadvantage to JVZoo is that you have to have an existing network before you get there. In other words, you have to already have affiliates. With Warrior Plus, there is a possibility that a JV could find you, right? Even if they don't know you, they could actually find you here on Warrior Plus. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to click Create. All right, so now our offer is active. So now we have an active offer. So what we need to do now is we need to create a product, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to click Add a Product. And we're going to click Add New Product. Okay, so details. You can add in a product that's going to be buy now. You can add in a subscription product. I think that to add a free product, I think you have to have a certain kind of account. I'm not sure about that. Dana, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if everybody can add a free product. But I think that you can. Someone will have to test this part of it because I'm not really sure if you're brand new. Right, that's right. Only the original people who were part of this at the beginning. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Dana. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to call this. We're going to name our product. Product Launch Workshop Live. Now, like I said, I'm not going to be selling this, but I'm just going to do this as an example. So this title is going to show up to you and to your customer. It's also going to show up on their receipt. Right? Okay, now, important thing here. How are you going to deliver your product? Now, you don't have to make a decision about that right now, but you are going to have to make that decision. right? And so probably the easiest thing to do would be to send people to a thank you page where you can go back and add to it later, right? If you choose to do a file, I don't like files because you still got to deliver a PDF or something like that, and it can only be 100 megabytes. And you could very easily go through 100 megabytes. Now, if you have something small and all you're delivering is going to be a PDF, I can see that, right? Maybe you do want to just deliver just the file. But the other thing that, you know, delivering a thank you page allows you to do is it allows you to do, why would I want to send people to a thank you page? Let me ask you guys. Why do you think that I would want to deliver people to a thank you page? Right, exactly, Chantel, because I can put in everything else that I have on there, right? Maybe they don't know what else I have. Maybe they don't know all of my other products. And so it's my opportunity to actually put in all of my other products. I'll tell you another reason why, and it is not something that I have done yet. I hope to be able to do it of my upcoming launch. I don't know if I'm going to have time to. I've been reading a book called The Experience, and it's about Walt Disney. And it's about all the things that Disney does in order to make their customer service. They've apparently kind of their customer service is so far above everybody else's that it's widely known. So it's a fact that their customer service is far above everybody else's. And so one of the things that they do is they try to make sure that there is something personal at every stage. And so another thing that you can do on your thank you page is you can autoplay a video, right? So in other words, people, the first interaction is the most important one. The first interaction that you have with people needs to be personal if you can make it. And so you can do that on the thank you page. If they click to the thank you page and you want to play a video that just says, hey, you know what, I just want to welcome you and thank you for buying the Product Launch Workshop Live. My name is, you know, Chantel Sweeney. My name is Dana Castle, and I just want to let you know, hey, we've got good stuff for you on the inside. If you have any questions, reach out to me. And so that's another good reason why you want to have a thank you page. Okay, so that makes sense, everybody. So again, if I said that to you at this point, I would be saying do as I say and not as I do. I haven't done it yet. I've done it sometimes in the past. I'd like to be able to do more of that. Okay, so deliver URL. So let's go ahead and let's do a thank you page. And I'm going to do that inside of the PLR show. I'm going to create a page. And I'm just going to use one of these templates. And then I'm going to say, thanks for buying Product Launch Workshop Live. Okay, now there's one important aspect of this part of it that I do want to tell you about. I need to kind of look this up for a second here. Now, this page is going to be open to the search engines, right? Unless you hide it. And so you don't want your thank you page to be viewed by everybody, right? You want it to be hidden. Now, there's a way to do that inside of OptimizePress. If you have another page builder, there's probably going to be a certain way for you to be able to do this. I'll show you how to do this in OptimizePress. What you're going to do is you're going to go here into other scripts. I'm going to add here in the header area a no follow tag. I'm also going to add here a no cache tag. So basically, these two phrases are going to discourage Google from following this page. It's also going to discourage Google from caching this page, right? So what this means then is that my page is going to remain hidden from the search engines. Now you're just going to want to go test this before you launch, But basically, when you set up that page and you publish it, you want to make sure you've done something inside of your own page builder to make sure that that page stays hidden from the search engine, right? Because nobody needs to see your thank you page. It doesn't even matter if you're not delivering the product yet, because we're not going to deliver the product on this page, right? We just want to have a page that either tells people what they're going to need to do, or or we might deliver it on this page. Who knows? We haven't gotten to that point yet. So I'm going to go here, and we're going to save this. I am going to take out the header. I mean, we don't have to do that, but we'll take that out. All right, so I'm going to grab that link. I will come back and edit that page because right now we want to keep working on our sales funnel. Okay, I'm going to put that delivery URL in that box. Okay, I'm going to decide on what my refund period is. Okay, if it's going to be 30 days. In general, if you are selling PLR, the standard is, right? The standard is that if you're going to sell an information product, you should probably do 30 days. If you're going to do PLR, you may want to either consider a refund where you either give people another product or something, right? I'm just telling you what the industry standard is. All right, now, content type. We already did this, right? But we're going to say this is going to be video, it's going to be audio, and it's going to be media files. Now, this you're not limited. You can put everything in here that applies. So if you have a membership, you can put all that in there. All right, now, keywords, category. All right, category. I'm going to use those same categories we used before. I can't remember what they were. Coaching, JV launch management, and I can't remember what the third one was. What was the third one? Okay, we won't. We'll say it was. Say it was other. Okay, so keywords. We're going to use those same keywords for this product. Product creation. Product launch. And let's see. Oh, that's actually spelled wrong. You have to be careful with these things too. Product launch, because just about every misspelling that somebody had in here, it's actually in here. So you want to make sure you get the right one. All right. I'm going to go get that same product image. Now let's say that I'm going to be doing a limited edition, right? And so only, let's say only 50 people can buy this. I would limit that. And what happens then is that Warrior Plus cuts off the sales at a certain point, right? So I could do that if I wanted to. Typically I'm not, but I could. I do want to actually show you this about the keywords, right? Let's take a look at that here. See if I can find this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside of my favorites and alerts. These are my keyword alerts, right? So anything that comes that's offline, anything that comes that's PLR, anything that comes that's resell, anything that comes that's video, anything that comes that's WordPress, anything that comes that's YouTube, I get a notice about it in my email. Right? So everybody who's on Warrior Plus can do this. And so this is why in some cases, even if you don't have any traffic before, if you were new Yes, and actually everybody sets this up, Chantel. And here's why this is important. Let's say that you have no affiliates. Let's say that you have no traffic, but you launch your product on Warrior Plus. If your product has resell, right, or it has video as one of the keywords, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it in my email. So you're going to get traffic from me just because your offer is going to hit my email box, even if you and I didn't know each other, right? And so that's another thing that Warrior Plus does, that actually, if you are totally new, you can still get traffic to your offer, right? Yes. So I set mine up, Chantel. Everybody sets theirs up to get all of the products that are related to this one. So in fact, I actually stopped getting mobile, right? So I could probably delete this. I can delete the one for mobile, right? And I can add a new alert, right? Maybe I want to get everything that is private label rights, right? So now I'm going to get everything that somebody else puts in there that's called private label rights. And so that's why your keywords are so important. Right? So you want to try to start thinking about, well, what would somebody type if they want to get all the information on a certain topic and they want to get offers on that, right? And you can see that offline, the last alert that came out was 7.3. Right? The last alert for resell was 7.3. So actually, if I probably got something in my email box that had the word resell in it. The last time somebody launched a product on WordPress, 10:15 a.m. So if you have something on WordPress, right, I would have gotten your product launch notification. Okay. Okay, support email. You want, here's where I would suggest that there are two ways to go with support, right? The two ways to go with support. You can actually build a support desk through your cPanel, right? You can do something called OS Ticket. I would suggest that you use something like either Freshdesk or Zendesk. I mean, there are plenty of them out there. We use Zendesk, and the reason that we use Zendesk is because it makes it easier for me to track anything that anyone is doing. It makes it easier for me to it actually makes it easier for me to have Sydney do most, if not all, the support, and then if I have to come in, if she has to assign something to me, she can do that, right? If she has to say, well, can you answer this one, right? I can do that in Zendesk. It's hard to do if you have one that is in your cPanel. The other thing is that email deliverability is tricky when you're using things on your server, unless you've got to really know how to set up something called SMTP. And I'm not going to do that during this workshop. But if you know how to do SMTP, which is a way for you to be able to make sure your emails get delivered, then I think that using your server is fine. But otherwise, then I do recommend something like Zendesk or Freshdesk. And I think it's about $10 a month. Okay, any questions? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put my support email address in here. I'm going to put my support URL in here. Okay, you're going to select your PayPal account here or Stripe, right? So either way, you can use whichever one you want to use in order to get paid on Warrior Plus, right? If you rather use Stripe, you can use Stripe. If you rather use PayPal, you can use PayPal. Again, I don't think there's any particular advantage to either one. I use PayPal, but I'm not averse to using Stripe, right? Okay, so it seems about 9:27. I'm thinking you all might be on overload. So why don't we stop here, and we will pick it up next week in terms of getting this product set up. All right, any other questions? Okay, is everybody confident that you could follow what I've done so far? Okay, good, good. So you can follow pretty much what I've done so far. And again, launching on Warrior Plus, if you haven't gotten started at all inside of this niche. Now again, Warrior Plus is definitely the make money online niche, right? It's definitely that. But if you're going to get started in this niche and you don't have connections yet, you don't have JVs yet, you don't have partners yet, Warrior Plus can get you some sales provided you get the right offer in front of people. Okay, everybody, well, this is week one of our workshop. What we're going to do is we're going to get you set up to launch your product. We're going to get you launching on Warrior Plus. And so by the time the 4 weeks is over, you are going to have your product set up and ready to go. And so what you can be doing, right, during these 4 weeks is you can be putting your product together, right? You can be getting your copy together. And so once the 4 weeks are over, then all you've got to do is follow this course to get it set up and ready to sell. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you very much this evening. I appreciate you all being here. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care. Okay, so this is Product Launch Workshop Session 2. This is the live workshop, and what we're going to talk about is the same kind of a continuation of what we talked about last week. We're going to be working through the technical aspects of your product launch. And of course, we assume that you've already figured out what your product components are. So if you know you're going to be delivering a PDF or a series of PDFs or videos or a members area, we're going to assume that you already know that and that you are then ready to deliver that content. Right? Okay, so number 3, we're going to assume that you already know what you'll be writing as your copy. And finally, we will set up your product launch, upsells, and email marketing in this series. So we're going to take all 4 sessions in order to do that. So let's talk about the product launch order of operations. You want to first map out your marketing funnel even before you actually create the product, because when you map out your marketing funnel, this will actually determine how you're going to create the product, right? And the other thing is that you will then want to outline your sales copy. This again will help you to determine what you put in your product. What you don't want to do is to create the entire product first, obviously, and then go to the marketplace with it. You want to go to the marketplace, determine what you know is going to sell, and then go and create your product. And once you've done that, you can then start the product creation process, right? You can start putting your videos, your audios, your PDFs, anything else together. You should then start outsourcing or creating your graphics. This part will be easy for you if you have already outlined your sales copy. What happens to people often, and I've seen this, and it's actually happened to me too, is you finish the entire product, you then have to start writing sales copy and outsourcing graphics. And this is how many good ideas sit on the shelf. When you want to do the counterintuitive thing, you want to map out your sales funnel first, you want to outline your sales copy, and then you start creating your product. And once you start creating your product, while the product is being created, again, this is important, while the product is being created, not after, start outsourcing your graphics. And if you've written your sales copy, that's going to be an easy thing to do. Then set up your sales page. Again, this is during the product creation process. So don't wait until you finish all of your videos or all of your PDFs. You should be doing these things simultaneously, side by side. You should be setting up your tracking, right? Because again, once you finish the product, you should be just about ready to get ready for your launch. But you have to sort of do this in this order. Otherwise, you will come to the end and then you'll have a lot of things to do, which can be discouraging, and then it can keep you from actually finishing the product. Okay, you should be testing your sales pages and order buttons, right? You can actually do this without having completed the product. Again, this is something that if you leave till the end to do, I promise you will run out of time, right? So don't do that. Start working on testing your sales pages and your order button while you're in the product creation process. You know, you're creating videos or you're typing and creating PDFs. You take a break, and instead of going to social media, go to your sales funnel and start testing out your sales pages. Go to your order button. What this does is not only keeps you productive, but it will also shorten the amount of time it's going to take to create your product. Set up your product delivery. Now, obviously, you need to be finished with your product at that point, but you should be uploading your completed videos, you're uploading your completed PDFs, and you should be getting ready to start figuring out, well, how am I going to deliver this? Am I going to deliver this through a membership? Is it going to be a download page? Whatever it is, you just want to get it set up. And then after that, after you set up your delivery process, you should set up your post-launch email system and strategy. If you are doing this right, and again, nobody can do a product launch perfectly, but if you're doing this right, you should be finishing up your videos and all these other things about at the same time. Right? Does that make sense? Does everybody get that? Does that make sense? These are parallel processes. They are not at the end processes. So while you are creating your product, these are the things that you should be doing. And in fact, you already have, and I think it's in this webinar, there's a checklist, right? You should be walking through that checklist as you create your videos, as you create your PDFs, as you create whatever it is you're going to be delivering, as you create your software, okay? So let's see. What we're going to do is we're now going to go back to Warrior Plus. We're going to pick it up where we left off. And let's go back to Warrior Plus. And we're going to go inside our product. And let's see, let's find the product we were working on here. Okay, so we are now working through this product creation process. We've already talked about the product image and limiting sales. I've already talked about support and sort of what you want to do with that. Again, remember, I recommended that you use something like Freshdesk or Zendesk. I think Zendesk is $10 a month for one user, $20 for two. And having a record of things really is going to be helpful. I'm going to try to show you this here. So I need to try to show you this without revealing anyone's information here. Let's see if I can find a ticket. I'm going to see if I can find a ticket that maybe I sent in. Okay, so here is Zendesk. And when someone actually sends in a ticket, what you can do is you can have, you have the ability then to answer that ticket or reopen it. Again, what this does is it helps you to keep a paper trail. It actually helps you to keep track of things, and it will keep you from, during a launch especially, losing track of somebody's, somebody's request. And it's really important during a launch that everything that happens, everything that somebody sends in to you, that you were able to keep track of. And when you're not launching a product, it's important to have this kind of support. It's probably a little overkill, but when you have a launch, right, I promise you there will be something that will go sideways. And you want to be able to not only answer everyone, but you want to make sure that you're not missing anything. And if you have someone sending you emails that go to your email box, sometimes that email will go to spam. Sometimes you will send one back, it will go to spam. Sometimes you will not get the email until late because of someone running a cron job. There are all kinds of things that can get in your way of answering support during a launch. And so I would suggest that even if you only get it month to month, you want to have something reliable like Zendesk or Freshdesk where the emails are going to be sent and you can receive them and you can have a paper trail. Because, for example, if I wanted to go and search for this person, right, Thomas Duncan, I want to search for them by email. I can do that right here, right? In fact, here's the one that I just submitted, right, as Thomas Duncan. And so I can answer this now. If I wanted to assign this to Sydney, I could do it. So for example, I could take the ticket or I could assign it to Sydney. So if you're working with a team, you can actually assign that to a second person, right? You can actually, if you're working with someone else, let's say that you're outsourcing to someone, you can assign it to that person and you can say, make sure to give them a free gift, right? You can tell that to the person that you're outsourcing to with this internal note. Now again, Zendesk isn't any better than any of the other help desks, but it is better than having your own on your server because of the email deliverability issue and the fact that this keeps a paper trail. Now there is also, you can also get something like, I think it is called, what's it called? It's OS Ticket is what it's called. The other one is called OS Ticket. And OS Ticket is free. You can have it customized, but I think, again, Zendesk is $10 a month. It'll be money well spent if you were having a launch. Right? Any questions about that? Any questions? Does everybody understand kind of what I was saying about that? Does that make sense? Okay, so let's move on to the next step. Okay, now pricing details. On Warrior Plus, when you put in the regular price, this is what you want to put in as the value, right? So whatever the product is actually worth. And so if you've determined the product is actually worth or it's eventually going to sell for something, that's what you want to put here as the regular price. If the regular price after the launch is going to be $47, excuse me, you want to write that in, because what's going to show on the sales button is that the regular price is going to be $47. So the customer, when they come there, they're going to know that, hey, the price could actually go up to this, or it's likely to go up to this. So you want to make sure that you put that regular price in this box. The sale price is your launch price, right? So whatever your launch price is going to be, that's what you should actually be placing here in this box. Now, let's say that, does everybody understand the concept of a dime sale? Okay, so if you understand the concept of a dime sale, please put the number 1 in the question box. If you don't, and you'd like for me to explain it, please put the number 2 in the question box. Okay, so most of you understand the concept of a dime sale. Basically, a dime sale is when you determine how much each sale is going to cause the price to rise by. So in other words, we can actually say that the regular price is going to be $47. The sale price is going to start at $17, and it's going to increase by, let's say, a penny with every one sale, right? And we can say, well, we don't want it to go any higher than $17.95, right? So in other words, during the launch, we only want the price to go to $17.95, but we want to do something to encourage people in a way, not in a scarcity way, but in a way that's in their best interest. So it's in your best interest if you don't want to pay the rising price to get it now, right? So that's why you do a dime sale. All right, now the next thing you have here is your email integration. So what's going to happen is that when you set up an email integration, every time you get a buyer, that buyer is going to be added to a list, right? You can connect a number of autoresponders here. So for example, let's say that I wanted to add in Aweber, ActiveCampaign, Constant Contact, Drip, GetResponse, GoToWebinar, Infusionsoft, and any of these autoresponders. So I can add any of those. Right? So when I get to this point, I can say, I've already set up my GetResponse. And when I go to that menu, Warrior Plus will let me pick my list that I want to use. If I want to create a new list, I can create a new list, right, just for Warrior Plus. Right? So I can create a list that is, I can say this list is new product list, and save it. Okay, it takes a minute to save or so. Okay, it says please select the list. Or we add the list, and then we select the list. Okay, then we click Save. And then everybody who actually buys the product is going to be added to our GetResponse list. And that's probably going to be the most important thing that you're going to do in this process, so that whenever you get buyers, even if you set up a free product, you want them added to a list that you can actually manage inside of your autoresponder. All right, now, we're not going to do software integration or membership integration, but, for example, these are all of the membership scripts that you can use that will integrate directly with Warrior Plus. So if you have Amember, Digital Access Pass, Infusionsoft, Kajabi, Nanocast, Optimized Member, S2 Member Pro, or Wishlist Member, all of those plugins or all of those membership systems will integrate with Warrior Plus. And what that means is that when, let's say that you're selling a product on a monthly basis, is that when your buyer, maybe they miss their payment, or maybe they decide they're not going to be in your membership anymore, what's going to happen is there will automatically be removed from your membership because you integrated the purchase process here in Warrior Plus. Does that make sense? So if you get that, please put the number 2 in the question box. So if you get that part. Okay, so how many of you already have a membership script? Right, so if you have a membership script, please put the number 3 in the question box. So if you already have one. Right, so if you already have any one of these, you can actually use them. And there's actually one here that I don't see. I know that MemberSonic is also, right? MemberSonic integrates very well with Warrior Plus, right? I think it's considered a third-party system, but it also integrates. Okay, so some of this you're going to get with a particular a system. So let's say that you decide you're going to use, let's say you're going to decide to use Optimized Member. Optimized Member will give you this information. Let's say that you decide to use Wishlist Member. Wishlist Member is going to give you this information. And in some cases, you're not going to have any membership integration, but the membership plugin that you use asks you and gives you this information, the notification URL and the key generation URL, right? And each individual membership script will tell you whether or not you need to send the IPN or the delivery URL, right? So again, whichever membership script you use, it's going to give you this information. Now you don't have to use this, right? You don't have to use any of this. You can just deliver people to a thank you page, right? And if you ever have a case where something goes sideways in your launch and people cannot get to your members area, or people are not getting the confirmation email, the easiest thing to do is to turn this off. 99 out of 100 times, if you're going to have a problem, it's going to be here. And so you can solve that by putting in a delivery URL here, right? Just deliver them to the thank you page where they can either set up their membership ID or they can get to their download page, one or the other. But what you want to do is you do want to test it. If you, again, you find out during your testing that you cannot get this to work, you don't fret. What you do is you send people to a thank you page until you get it working. Right? So that makes sense. Is everybody with me? So if that makes sense to you, please put the number 4 in the question box. All right, very good. Okay, so I've got a question about Natu. You were asking about InstaSuite. I believe that Insta Builder integrates with Warrior Plus. I do believe it does. So I think that everything inside the InstaSuite, Insta Builder, Warrior Plus, I believe that it integrates. Okay, okay. So you're okay. Your question is about you don't think you'll ever do your first launch if it's not in your own system. Okay, so you're saying that you would rather not use an affiliate platform. Okay, so InstaSuite has its own affiliate program. Okay, so here's what I would say about the difference between using Warrior Plus and your own affiliate program. The reason that people will readily promote using Warrior Plus or JVZoo is because they get the opportunity to be paid immediately when they make a sale. And affiliates are reluctant to promote if they're even going to get paid a day later. So even if you were to send out their commissions the next day, you'll get fewer affiliates if you choose to use your own platform right now. So there's one issue with affiliate recruitment. However, you can work around that, right? But typically, you would do that by kind of establishing a trust on one of the networks. So in other words, it's been my experience that you can actually ask someone to use your system, to use your affiliate program, your personal affiliate program, if you've already established a track record of having a product and for them getting paid by promoting for you, right? It's just a harder way to get people involved with your affiliate program if it's not on one of the known networks. So you want to be certain that you don't want to use the affiliate network first to get affiliates. Now, and so once you establish kind of a dialogue, an ongoing relationship with an affiliate, they've made money from your products, you can then go to them, I believe, and then say, hey, we're moving our affiliate program over to, let's say, this other platform or something like that. We're going to move it to your own personal platform. I think they would be a little more open to that if they've already promoted for you on one of the known networks, right? So that's how I would answer that. Natu. I think it's a good step. It may not be the first step to go. All right. Okay, but great question. Okay, so right here is where you're going to set the affiliate program for your customer, right? So typically, depending on what you're going to be giving on the front end, you're going to write that in there. We talked about this a little bit, but when you write in some information here, you're going to tell your customer sort of a little bit about the product, what you're looking for, and whether or not you'd have them to promote. Okay. Typically, you are going to want to be eligible for deal of the day, so you're going to leave that open, and then you're going to click save, right, and get your product. So now, let's go to the offer section. I'm going to pull this over, and what we're going to do now that we have a product is we're going to attach that product to our offer, right? And we can do that by going to this page, clicking adding a product, and we're going to grab one of the products that we just set up. And in this particular case, we did this product. We're going to choose how much we want to pay the affiliates, and we're going to click Save. So now inside of Warrior Plus, this product is our front-end product, right? This product is our front-end product. We would go through the same process in order to create an upsell. So in other words, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new page. We're going to put in advanced, or whatever we would call it, product launch. We're going to have our sales page set up. I'm not going to go through that entire process right now because I want to just show you how to set up the upsell. Okay, so once you have these two products set up, you're going to get your second product set up. You're going to decide on what the commissions are going to be. You can click Save. What you're going to do now is that you are going to now set these up so that they are connected. So in other words, you're going to see that we still need to connect our upsell. And so we do that by going to this link, saving it. And so now, when the person actually comes to our page, they're going to get sent from this offer to the next offer, right? This is another thing that the affiliate platforms actually do for you during this process. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Okay, so now that we have our offer set up, we have already set our launch date. We're going to click Activate Offer. Let's say it's going to be in the future. It's going to be at 9 in the morning. Okay, and so now our launch is set inside of Warrior Plus. So now really what the next step is going to be is we need to create our sales pages, and then we need to start placing our buttons. And then in the final session, what we need to do is we need to actually set up our product delivery. So in the next session, what we're going to do is we're going to set up our sales pages. And then in session 4, we're going to set up the delivery and prepare for our launch. Okay, are there any questions? Okay, everyone, well, we're about at 40 minutes, I think, and we're going to stop right here. This is a good place to break. Next week, we will start with sales pages. And then, as I said, the final week, we will deal with product delivery so that you will be ready to deliver your product. If you have any questions on anything, any part of this process, please let us know, and we will be glad to answer your question. Okay, so everybody, thank you very much for being here, and we appreciate you. Have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care. Hello, this is Product Launch Workshop, live session number 3. And what we're going to be talking about in this product workshop, launch workshop, we're going to be working through the technical aspects of your product launch. We're going to assume that you've already figured out your product components or the content. We're going to assume that you already know what you'll be writing as your copy. And we can make some suggestions to you about format. We're going to do that tonight. But you should already know what your product is about and how you are going to write your copy. We're going to set up the product launch, the upsells, and the email marketing. Okay, so the order of operations. This is the order in which you should do things for your product launch. First, you should map out and set up your product funnel. So in other words, what's going to be your upsell, what's going to be your second upsell if you're going to have one. and we kind of talked through the format of that. You want to do this before you create the product, and because it will affect how you create the product. It will affect what you put in your offer in terms of a bonus. So before you set out, right, before you actually do the recording or you do the PDFs or any of that, map out your product funnel. And I realize that that is counterintuitive to maybe the way that you might do it. I know that a number of people are even talking about this, but it is the way that you will create something that you know people are going to buy, because you're going to start with that. Right, you're going to determine what people are going to buy, and then you're going to go back and actually create the product as opposed to the other way around. Then once you've done your marketing funnel, outline your sales copy, right? Outline your sales copy. And I have said this on past calls. If you have any problem with that, you can use David Fry's 12-step bulletproof sales letter. That's a classic. I think it's a classic guide that you can use in order to create a sales letter. And if you have never written copy before, if you follow that guide, you can create a decent sales letter just if you try to follow what he's saying in that guide. Once you have completed your sales copy, you should be starting the product creation process. So this is when you will start creating the videos or the PDF, or you will start creating the software. But none of that comes until after the funnel and the sales copy. I cannot stress that enough to you, because you will get to the end of the process and you will wonder, now, how am I going to make this fit the market? When you want to be doing that during your product creation process. Once you start the product creation process at the very beginning, that is when you should be outsourcing or creating your graphics. If you're going to outsource, you should be contacting a designer at that point. Do not wait until you have completed your product. Do not wait until you have completed things to start sending out your graphics or to start outsourcing your graphics. Go to the Warrior Forum and look in Warriors for Hire. Start talking to someone about your graphics. Find someone who's at the right price and who can do the job the way you want it to be done. It's really vital, everyone, that you do follow this order. The number one thing that discourages people when they go through the product creation process, they get to the end and then they're just getting the work started, right? You might feel like, well, man, I created 30 videos and 15 PDFs, and now I'm ready to launch. But you're not even close to being launching. You're not even close to being done. When if you start a lot of this stuff before you get into that process, you will be motivated to complete the process to finish the launch. Does that make clear, everyone? Does that make sense to you? So if you get that, please put the number 1 in the question box if that makes sense to you. Okay, now once you have outsourced the graphics and you are in the product creation process, you should be setting up your sales pages. This should be happening at the same time. And we have gone through how you're going to set them up in Warrior Plus. We're going to get into some specifics tonight about your sales pages. You should be setting up your tracking. So if you have Google Analytics, if you have a click tracker, if you have some kind of plugin that tracks traffic to your website, set this up now when you're setting up your sales pages and you want to test your tracking, right? You want to test your tracking until you can verify that it's working correctly. And you can do that typically by going to the site or having people visit the site so that you'll know your tracking is actually working. The tracking is important because that's how you're going to be able to tell how you're doing, right? That's how you're going to be able to tell whether or not you should adjust something. So you have to set up the tracking kind of while you're in this process. Test the sales pages. Now at this point, you should be nearing the completion of your product creation process. You should be testing the sales pages and the order button. We're going to do some of that next week. You want to set up your product delivery then. So in other words, you should kind of be knowing where you're going to host your downloads, where you're going to deliver your downloads. You want to be careful even about using Amazon Amazon S3. If you have a fairly extensive launch, you have a lot of heavy files, you are going to get a bill and it's not going to come until the next month, right? And sometimes people get surprised by the size of a bill. Now, again, Amazon is as cheap as they come, but when you're talking about downloading and you're talking about bandwidth, you do pay for bandwidth. And you can very easily get a $100 bill you were not expecting at the beginning of the month because you had your launch the month before, and you had all the files to download from Amazon S3. Again, in some cases, it's going to make the most sense. I had a scenario where that made sense last month. I had too many large files on my Microsoft server, and so when people came to that server and they started downloading stuff, Microsoft throttled the people who were trying to get to it in the middle of the launch, right? So I had to then go to Amazon S3. There was no choice I had. I switched everything to Amazon S3, and lo and behold, the next month I got a $200 bill, right, or $120 bill. And again, it wasn't the end of the world, but you don't want any surprises like that, especially when you have a launch. And then, of course, probably close to the last thing you're going to do before you actually hit the button to make your launch live, you want to make sure that your post-launch email system and strategy is set up. So in other words, whatever you're going to do to follow up, whatever you're going to do to make sure that people see all the upsells, whatever you're going to do to make sure people are being accommodated once they become part of your list, this is when you want to set that up. Right? Any questions? Are there any questions about the order of operations? And I like going over this every week because it's pretty important that you do things in this order. It will affect how fast, actually, that you finish your product. You believe that? Okay. So we're going to talk about tonight is setting up your sales pages. We have a lot to talk about. And now I don't really particularly care what page builder you use. I use OptimizePress. You may use InstaBuilder. It really doesn't matter with the things I'm going to be talking about. You have to know how to do these things in your page builder, right? So, I mean, I could show you how to do them in my page builder. It wouldn't help you any, but you really don't need all of that in order to do what I'm going to be telling you tonight. So let's talk about setting up your sales pages. Now, the first sales page you're going to set up is going to be your affiliate page. You might ask, now, why am I doing that? Well, you need to have a page that sells the affiliate on promoting your product. So that's really the first sales page you're going to create. I'll show you one that I have created. Again, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world. It's functional, though, right? I'll show you the one, and basically, I'll show you the elements that I think you need to have. Right, I'm going to stop this right here. Okay. Notice that I have a banner. Right. I have a banner. I have a banner at the top. Right. That's consistent with the product. I have a headline, just as I would have a headline for a sales page. This is a sales page. Right. I'm just trying to sell my affiliates. So that sales page is going to have a headline. I've got a sales video, right? And every page builder is going to have space for one. And then I've got some dates there, and then I've got where they can get their affiliate link right here. Now, I'm going to tell you this. You could stop right there, and that'll be that's enough for an affiliate page. Does that make sense? So you don't need to have anything else. That's really all you need. A headline, the banner, and then the affiliate link. Now I have some other things in here that I explain the funnel, I explain the product to them because some people, some affiliates want to know what the product is going to be about, right? Some don't care, right? But some do want to know what the product is about. And then I put the affiliate link back here. Because I'm delivering video, I give people, the affiliates, a sample, right? I give them a sample. I show them what the sales page, what I think the sales page is going to look like. Now, I may not know at that point, but I will put in there what I have. I will give them swipes. So in other words, I will give them emails to use. And I expect that the people that I would allow to promote, that they would not just take my swipes and just use them word for word. I hope not. But regardless, I do give them swipes for them to be able to use, and then I give them access to a bonus page. And so this is a bonus page that they can use in order to almost act as a bridge page. So in other words, they're going to send their visitors to the bonus page first. The bonus page is then going to be clickable to the sales page, right? So is everybody clear on where I am right now? So if you're clear on where I am right now, just talking about the JV page, please put the letter with the number 2 in the question box. If you're with me on the JV page. Again, JV page does not have to be fancy. It shouldn't be, right? All you need are the things that I have right here, right? They can look, and again, just make it look as professional as you can, and please do not try to make it look like anybody else's, right? You will burn time that you do not have. Now, obviously, you want it to be presentable. Obviously, you want it to look professional as you can make it. So use your page builder. Keep things spaced out. But again, don't try to copy or imitate anyone. Get the basic information up there. And again, over time, you can start to tweak things. When when you're comfortable, when you know what affiliates want, you can start to tweak things. Okay, so that is your affiliate page. Now, the affiliate page actually has a couple of components. Right now, you notice here I have in my menu, I have a swipe email page. Right now, this feature is something that you can do in OptimizePress. And I'm pretty sure you can do it in other stuff too. But if you don't have this, don't worry about that. You can probably do it in other page builders in a different way. But you do want to make the swipes accessible to your JV partners. Okay, and then what I have here is I have the option for them to create their own bonus page, right? Let me show you what the bonus page is going to look like, I think. Okay, so here's the bonus page. Now, again, what am I trying to do with the bonus page? Okay, okay, does everybody understand the concept of a bonus page? Okay, the bonus page is basically my way of helping the affiliates to promote my product. So it is another sales page, and you are creating a sales page telling people what the bonuses are going to be, but you're not going to use this page. Your affiliates are going to use it. Now, you can use it. I've used mine in the past, but it's mainly for your affiliates. So they will be able to send traffic to the bonus page so that people can see it before they make a decision whether or not they're going to click onto the sales page or not. Right? Does everybody get that? Does everybody get the bonus page concept for the affiliates? Right? For the affiliates. So if you get that, right, please put the number 3 in the question box. You're creating a bonus page for your affiliates. If you don't get it, please ask away. Ask a question if you don't get the concept. Okay, so now in the bonus page, what am I doing? I'm talking about the product, right? Again, I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm telling them what the bonus is going to be. Now, what I do, and I don't know if everybody does this, this is just what I do. I personally do not necessarily always like all the different e-covers to be on the bonus page that my affiliates are going to use in order to promote my product. And so what I do is I will go into Photoshop and I will create an e-cover for each bonus. Right? So my e-covers, pretty much they're going to all look the same. And they are the same. They've got the different titles on there. But I am basically recreating and again, all this is just aesthetics. Right? I'm only doing this for aesthetics. I'm doing this so that it looks uniform, so it looks professional. It looks like something that hopefully the people who are coming to this page would want to purchase. Right? Is everybody clear on that? What you're doing with the bonus page? Right? This is for the affiliates, again, to promote. Now, you should be able to go and put your hands on. I like to use 5 for the front end and 5 for the back end. And 3 I like to have on my page just in case I never see these bonuses. Now, when it comes to delivering the bonuses, sometimes I will give the affiliate a link to be able to deliver the bonuses, right? If they want it. Most of the time, though, I will deliver these bonuses in my own back office. Right? Does everybody get that? So does that make sense? So if you get that, please put the number 3 in the question box. So in other words, the affiliate's not going to deliver the bonus. They're not going to put it in their slot, right, for the bonus. I'm going to deliver the bonuses on my membership page, my download page, or in my back office, right? Okay, so you can do your format can be however you want it, right? You do not have to make yours look like mine. You don't have to make yours look like anything. All it really needs to do is needs to look clean. It needs to look like something that people actually want. That's all you really have to do in order to make it presentable. Okay, now, so we've talked about the swipe page and the bonus page, and we've kept the header. One of the things you're going to notice here is that this is something that I can do. I like to put my header across everything. And I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. And the main reason I like to do that is because I don't want people to be disoriented. And I want them to know it's all associated with the same thing. Okay, Chantel is asking if there's one way better than another. Do you mean in order to create a bonus page? Or when you say one way better than another, Chantel, what do you mean? Okay, and while she writes in that question, okay, so that's my bonus page. And again, I did all this from scratch. I did all this in OptimizePress. So you can use your page builder to build one from scratch. You don't have to use a template. If you want to use a template, use one. If not, don't worry about it. Just make it professional and clean. Put the basic information on there. Is there one way better than the other? I think so, Chantel. Honestly, I think you should deliver the bonuses rather than if I'm your affiliate. I think you should deliver the bonuses, and here's why. What you don't want is you don't want to get support requests saying, hey, you know, Charles, I bought this through Charles's link, and he said, and he was supposed to give these bonuses, and he didn't. Can you talk to him, or can I buy through somebody else's link? Can you just switch out from him, and you can avoid all of that by just delivering them yourself. Now, you can also, what you can do is you can deliver the bonuses, Chantel, and you can also give them to the affiliates. But I do not want any variables, I don't want any variables that are under anybody else's control during a launch. That's my personal opinion about that. Does that make sense? Okay, great. Okay, so let's go back here. Talked about bonuses, talked about swipes, we talked about the basic home page. Next sales page is the affiliate bonus page. You just saw that. Okay. Oh, now there is one thing that I do want to kind of tell you about this, is that some affiliates do not have WordPress and they don't want to use your bonus page. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have your bonus page converted to HTML, right? And you can typically have that done for, I mean, I know a guy that does it for me for $15, right? He's happy to get it. So it's not a lot of money. So if you have somebody who knows HTML, they can take this template or a template you have on WordPress or Lead Pages, wherever the case is, and turn that bonus page into something that's on HTML, because your customer or your affiliate may or may not use WordPress. They may like to use HTML, and you want to make it easy for them to promote. Now, for all this stuff, you can use an existing template on your page builder. You don't have to build it from scratch. The kind of the first thing you're going to do is going to be to set up the headline, right? To set up the headline. Then you're going to set up the sales video, and what I'm going to suggest is that once you record the video, you can host the video on YouTube, right? Host the video on YouTube. So even if you do a PowerPoint video, you can host the video on YouTube. Now, what I would suggest is that you have a channel that you're using that does not connect to your main channel. Or if you're going to use a channel, I'm going to suggest that you use a channel separate from your main YouTube channel if you have one. So wherever you have your videos and all that stuff, if you don't want Google getting upset, or you don't want people reporting you or any of that stuff, don't mess with that channel. Do all of these things on a separate channel, right? Does that make sense, everybody? So again, do all your sales videos on one channel. Don't put them on your main channel. The video should autoplay, and now different video players are going to have different settings, but regardless, you should be auto-playing your video when somebody comes to the page. Now, I understand that sometimes that can be a hassle. Sometimes it can be, it may make a potential customer upset, but they can just click the page, right? So in other words, let me show you this again. I'll just pull up my. Okay, so let's say the video starts playing, right? All they've got to do is click the video. So no, I don't put any controls on there. And you know, I could put the play button on there, but you want that video to autoplay in order to get your people listening, right? It's really important, probably within the first few seconds, that you have something that will get them listening, even if you can't get them looking. Right, get them listening, because people are distracted and they can pull up a page, they can click on something. They're going to probably hear your voice first, right? They're probably going to hear your voice first. So make your voice the most prominent thing. All right. What you're going to do then is you're going to put some benefit bullets in there. It is standard among copywriting that you want to use an odd number of benefit bullets. So in other words, if you're going to have 12, write a 13th. And I don't know if there's something psychological about that or not, but try to have an odd number. And what you want to do is you want to make the last one bold, right? So if you didn't get that, please write that down. So again, with the benefit bullets, you want to have an odd number if possible. And the first one should be bold, and the last one should be bold, right? And again, I'm not entirely sure why that's the case, but it is common practice in sales copy, and I see no reason not to follow it, right? Any questions so far? Any questions about setting up your sales page? Any questions so far? If you have a question, please put the number 4 in the question box, or just write your question in there. Graphics. Now, hopefully, as I have said, you have already outsourced your graphics, right? You have already outsourced your graphics. At minimum, right, if you're going to have graphics outsourced, if you're on a budget, at minimum, you should have e-covers, right? You should have e-covers. Now, if you're doing resale rights, you must get graphics, right? Now, if you want to do them yourself, that's fine, but you have to have them. And if you're handy with if you're good with Photoshop, and you can create a good e-cover that'll match all of the other stuff, then I say go for it. There's a program out there called eCover Authority that Chad Elgizer puts together. It's a very good program. I personally don't use it because I use Photoshop, not because it's not a great program. It's just redundant. I bought it when I was still making up my mind about Photoshop, and then I bought it. And then I bought Photoshop, and I just haven't used it. But I will say it's a great program. Chad stands behind it and improves it all the time. So if you're going to create e-covers yourself, use eCover Authority or Photoshop. Having banners, if you can have them, is important. And this is where I would start saying things like, have this outsourced. Again, unless you really do know how to create banners. What I would really highly suggest you do is focus on the JV process, focus on marketing, focus on the last parts of product creation. The graphics, and it's not that it's not important. It's just that you only have so much time during a launch, and you must work on marketing, right? Somebody has to do that part. And you know, I don't really have it in here for this course. Maybe I'll do an extra session, but you want to cultivate your relationships with your affiliates. And no, they're not going to all promote for you on a particular launch, but you want to be in contact with them. And you don't want to be in contact with them when your launch is coming. You want to be in contact with them in general, right? Is everybody clear on that? So when you're talking about do you have time to create banners, I'm going to say maybe, right? If you can have these outsourced, have them outsource and spend your time on the sales process. Is everybody clear on that? So if you get what I kind of went through just then, please put the number 4 in the question box if you get what I said. Just about graphics and how you want to spend your time. Because it's pretty important. Now, if you're a designer and you're good at this, I see no reason for you not to create your own graphics. You probably know what you want. But otherwise, you can probably get a decent set of graphics if you understand how to look to the warrior form. And I've done that on a number of occasions, and I'll probably do it again before this workshop is over, all 4 weeks. So we're talking about outsourcing. Okay, that's a great question. So Chantel asks, how do you stay in contact with your affiliates? Do you email them regularly? I would say, Chantel, that and this is actually a good question for a number of reasons. Number one, I'm not a Facebook person, right? I don't spend a lot of time posting. I mean, I'm trying to, but I just don't. But I typically talk to most affiliates through Skype and Facebook. Now, I have an application called, and it's the same one that's probably on the phone. I don't think it's anything special. It's just called messenger.com. Let me see if I can find it, if I can get it. Messenger.com. Okay, and so this these are all of my contacts in Facebook, and I'm talking to them in here, right? This is I'm literally talking to them through this application. Now I'm also using Skype, which you can also there's a web browser edition of Skype. Okay, Skype for the web. So even if you have to use your mobile device, or even if you have to, you don't want to be in Facebook, it's really kind of important that you be contacting them. And I would personally use Facebook Messenger and Skype. And because quite honestly, and I'm thinking about myself, if you were to email me, I really don't, there are very few emails I read, and the ones that I read are the folks in this group. I really don't. I mean, Sydney really handles all support, and so I don't do a lot of email reading, and I'm probably like most people. And I've emailed affiliates a number of times. I have an email list of affiliates, and I send out an email faithfully about my launch. And I get questions from the same people who are on that list. So I would say that you would want to have some kind of real-time communication. And if that's the case, then you're talking about Messenger, which is connected to Facebook, and Skype. Right? Does that make sense, Chantel? All right, great. Okay, your buy buttons. Buy buttons. Buy buttons are, there are 2 ways to go with buy buttons. And one of the things that you want to be careful about with buy buttons is that when you're working with an affiliate network, they're going to give you buy buttons that you should use. And you want to use those buttons. And the reason that you want to use their buttons is because of the tracking and the affiliates. And so you want to get the buy buttons typically. If you're launching in JVZoo or Warrior Plus, get their buttons. And here's the reason why. If I'm your affiliate and I send traffic and you're making sales, and because you decided you wanted to use a fancy buy button, I don't get credit for the sale, I'm going to have a problem, right? There's no way to sort it out. There's no way to make sense of it after that happens. So most of the people who are involved in our niche, the information marketing niche, they trust those buy buttons. You're not going to have a case where people are coming to the buttons and say, oh, I don't know about this. If you're selling to the information marketing niche, they all know JVZoo, they all know Warrior Plus, they all know Zaxxa. So you don't have to try to hide the buy buttons or any of that stuff from your customers and from the traffic that your affiliates are sending. Right? Does that make sense? Okay, so please use the buy buttons that are given to you by and let me show you what I mean by that. Let me just show you. Okay, so I'm going to pull JVZoo open for right now. And you're going to notice something. You're going to notice that when you set up the sales funnel, there are going to be buy buttons associated with the sales funnel. Right? And you have to get these buttons. If you go and get the buttons from the regular product, your affiliates are not going to get credited, right? You have to get this. So especially if you're going to have these affiliates send you traffic. So you set up your sales funnel, you get the buttons associated with the sales funnel. Is that clear? Is everybody clear on that? So that makes sense to you. Please put the number 5 in the question box. Okay, I want to show you the same thing. I want to show you the same thing in Warrior Plus. Because we're working in Warrior Plus, and I want you to know what this looks like. All right, so remember we did this offer, and okay, great. Okay, yep, Chantel, here we go. So let me go back and do JVZoo first. Okay, do you see this link that says buy buttons? Right, do you see this link that says buy buttons? I'm going to click that link. And then I'm going to grab the code. Right? So this code, when I put it on the page, is going to be the buy buttons. Okay, great. So now the same thing pretty much with Warrior Plus. Right? I'm going to grab the code, and that's my button. I can customize it, right? I can make it transparent. I can make it buy now, subscribe, free download, free trial, custom, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this code. I'm going to put that on my sales page wherever I can put HTML. Right? Is everybody clear on that? Okay, great question. So when Chantel's question is, do the affiliates automatically connect to this? One part of the process that I have not gone over with you yet is that when you're setting up your offer, right, you are going to set up an affiliate sign-up page. Do you see that? You see that link, Chantel? Where I've got my cursor? Okay, right. So I'm going to set up this offer in Warrior Plus, and then I'm going to say generate this link for my affiliates. And when I give this link to my affiliates, they're going to have a link where they can apply to promote this product, right? And then I can choose whether or not I approve them or not. So once I approve them as my affiliate, they will connect then with that button when they send traffic. But they can't send traffic to that link until I approve them. They will not even be given a link. Let me see. You know what? It's easier for me to show you. Let me show you if I was somebody else's, if I'm gonna apply for somebody else's. Okay, so let's say that I want to promote this one. Let's see. Now I've already requested this one, so let's see this. Okay, so I requested this one. I get the link, and this is where I get my link. Right? When I get my link, I'm going to send traffic to this link, and it's going to automatically go to the sales page. Okay, so you see there he's got the button there. But yes, this is where I connect with the button. So I've got to be approved as an affiliate. I've got to send traffic to this link, and then I get connected to that button. Okay, great. Okay, good. Okay, does anyone have any questions about that? About the affiliate process? That was actually a great question, Chantel. I appreciate that. Any other questions about that? Okay, upsells. I talked about this a little bit before, and I just want to mention this again. And this is my preference, right? This is my preference. If I'm going to have a front end and I'm going to have an upsell, I like to keep the same banners and the same footers, right? Same banners, same footers. Now I'll show you this because I think that if you do this, you will not disorient people, right? Okay, so there's my front end, there's my back end. Okay, so there we go. So the banners, I keep consistent. And I think that if you can possibly do it between your front end and your upsell, you want to try to keep the graphics consistent and try to keep the banners consistent, because what you're trying to do is you're making a connection between the front end and the upsell, right? You can, and it's hard to do that if you have a totally different theme, right? And all this stuff happens in the background of people's minds. So if they're not consciously making the decision, they're not consciously disoriented, but when you put two different sets of graphics from the front end to the upsell, you were disorienting people. You're sort of taking them out of their order. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to accelerate the process of buying. You will slow it down if you disorient them. Right? So that makes sense. If you get that, please put the number 6 in the question box. All right, very good. So adding in testimonials, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but you want to have those in there when you can get them. Exit pop. The exit pop is optional. If you don't feel good about doing an exit pop, typically you're going to be able to do that with your page builder. There's a setting in Optimize Press where I can do that and send people to another page. But again, that is not necessarily, that's not mandatory that you have to do one. There's also the popover, and I do want to show you this. Let's see if I can find the page here. Okay, so here's Aweber, right? Here's Aweber. And so what you want to do is you want to use this setting in Aweber that says popover, lightbox, or pop-up. And in the same way that you place this code on a page, when you place the popover code, then this is going to give you that pop over the web page. You can actually do a lightbox, or you can do a pop-up. Right? Most autoresponders have this. GetResponse has this. Right? We can do popover or scroll form or embed it. Right? Any question about that? Okay. So that's it for the sales pages this week. And when you're setting up your sales page, the content is important. The content of your sales letter is important. Everything that I just mentioned to you is I don't want to say it's equally as important, but it's very important, right? All these things are very important. You can't leave any of these things out that I just said out of trying to get ready for a launch. These are all the things that you should be doing, I'd say, almost concurrently with your product creation, right? Don't leave any of this stuff to the end, right? By the time you get done with your product, you should be done with this stuff too, right? So try to be done with this stuff as you finish your product. And I don't want to overwhelm you, but here's what's going to happen if you don't do that. You're going to get to the end of the product creation process, and you are going to have a list of things this long, and you're going to say, "Oh my goodness, I don't feel like doing all this stuff." And the reason I can tell you is I can tell you from experience, and from having talked to a number of different marketers. You leave this stuff to the end, you will probably not launch. You'll have products that are sitting on your hard drive that you completed, but you will not launch them because this stuff will overwhelm you at the end of the process. All right? Okay, so any questions? Any questions? Okay, so let's see. It is about 9:26, so we're at a good breaking point, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about upload and delivery next week, and then putting buy buttons on your page and getting ready to sell. Right? So with that, I think we are really just about done here. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know what they are, and if not, hopefully this has been helpful for you. And you will be able now to kind of deliver a product and not and finish the process, right? The stuff that I just showed you is typically the stuff that you don't see. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to break here, and we're going to go on to week 4.